Welcome to Modern Motoring. I'm Jay, and we are with the 2026 Honda Civic Hybrid sedan. And as usual, we'll go through some numbers, perks, quirks, irks, pricing, and competition. So still a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine here, 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque through an eCVT, front-wheel drive only. Now on the fuel consumption side, it runs off a 46.9-liter fuel tank, and Natural Resources Canada has this at a combined 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers, meaning you can go almost 1,000 kilometers theoretically on a full tank. Contrast that with the gasoline version of the Civic sedan. That bumps up to 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers and a touch under 700 kilometers per full tank of fuel. And if we're looking at dollars and cents, you save $600 per year on average through Natural Resources Canada. Last set of numbers will be on the cargo side. We have 419 liters here. Not too bad, still pretty functional. And if you want something with more cargo space with a Civic badge, well, take a look at a different web page on the Honda Canada site and look at the hatchback, which has a couple hundred liters more. On the perk side, the Civic Hybrid sedan drives extremely well, and it's got more torque than the Civic Si. Now, this is an eCVT compared to the Si 6-speed manual, but plenty of power, plenty of get up and go. And aside from that very, very asterisk in bold Mazda 3, if you spec it the right way, with the turbo all-wheel drive, the 250 horse and 320 torque, this is one of the stronger ones in the segment, and you feel it every single time. And is this a budget Si? No, it's not. Like, the Si is the Si for a reason, and it sits in the middle of the Civic lineup between the Civic Si, and itself, and the Type R. For what it is, it drives quite well, lots of power and low fuel consumption figures, so it kind of hits the trifecta, and it does a pretty good job of it. Add in the lower center of gravity, and you can have a good amount of fun here in these Civic Hybrid sedan. Carefully, responsibly, of course, but the fun factor is high. There's a good mix of modern and traditional features here. For example, the climate controls are all physical, but there's either a 7 or a 9-inch infotainment screen that's pretty quick and responsive. Same thing here with the instrument cluster. Higher trims get the larger digital presence, and I believe it's 7 inches for lower trims for the instrument cluster. So again, it's a pretty solid mix here, and your heated seat buttons are physical. The heated steering wheel button is also physical. But again, there's the option for wireless CarPlay. If you go for the top trim, CarPlay and Android Auto do come standard across the board. But I think it's a nice, smart mix that gives most people the best of everything. Honda sensing safety technologies, pretty strong. Highlights here include blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, traffic jam assist, and a few others. So good job, Honda, on making your Honda sensing not just standard, but making it an impressive list, given that it is one of the smaller, more affordable options in the Honda lineup for 2026. A weird perk, but a perk nonetheless, and it's weird that I have to say it in 2026, but the entire steering wheel is heated, as opposed to the left side and the right side that some of these Civic competitors have. So a little odd. Standard LED daytime running lights and headlights and tail lights, so a pretty good move there, Honda, as far as making it a little more on the upscale side. And finally, the standard feature list is pretty good. You get your heated steering wheel, you get your heated seats, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as I mentioned before, and the walk-away lock feature, which saves you from either having to put your hand on the door handle or fish for that key fob to lock the door. Very convenient feature that I think is underrated, because you wouldn't really appreciate it until you use it every day. So thanks, Honda, for making that standard on the Civic Hybrid. Last one is that the 12-speaker audio system here through Bose on the top trim Sport Touring is one of the better ones for a non-luxury vehicle. And I'm sure the standard 8-speaker system sounds okay, but this has been tuned really well. And whether I'm listening to a podcast or Spotify or AM radio, anything I've put through these speakers sounds exceptionally good. And to me, that would be part of the reason I would pick the Sport Touring over the Sport as far as the two hybrid trims for the Civic sedan for 26. just a couple of quirks here, and I'll start by saying my personal vehicle that I pay insurance on and have been driving for a little over 10 years is a 2004 Honda Accord. When I flick the wiper stalk up on my own car, it does a really, really fast wipe. And I think it's quirky that Honda has kept that going here 22 years later with the 2026. Now, it's been in a bunch of other model years. I think it's actually been standard for them for all their vehicles, but same thing here. You flick it up and you get the really, really fast wipe swipe thing, so it clears off whatever's in your windshield. Well, it's not even a word. And speaking of the past and bringing it to today's world, the fact that there's a volume knob, it's a good move, but it's still quirky because there is that period, I think it was the 2017 Civic that didn't have a volume knob, and people just got up in arms and what are you doing taking away the volume knob? And Honda brought it back fairly quickly. I think it was the next generation that had it. But yeah, it'll always be a quirky thing to me. On to the Irk side, and first up is that there is no height adjuster for the passenger seat, regardless of what trim you get. So the seat bottom goes forwards and backwards, and the seat back reclines forwards and backwards. I think that even the top trim, or any one trim, should have a height adjuster for the passenger because you're pretty low in there. But that's more of like a first world perk. I don't know if anyone's going to really care, or I don't think it'll stop anybody from buying it. Next up is that this is front wheel drive only. There is no all wheel drive option. And maybe it's not a big deal, and maybe you're of the mind of, well, if I have a solid set of top quality winter tires, I'm okay. But Toyota's top trim hybrid, the XSE, through the Corolla, does have all-wheel drive. So I wonder if Honda's maybe looking at that for the next generation. And the last one, which is a good segue into pricing, is that the Civic sedan hybrid is the highest priced out of the competitors. And you'll notice when we get into the numbers that the Corolla sedan hybrid and this are very, very close in price, but it's the all-wheel drive system that comes with the Corolla. Let's wrap up with pricing and competition. So in Canadian MSRP figures, the lower trim Sport is $34,100, and this trim that I have here, being the Sport Touring, $37,600. Now, let's go through the competitors. There's gas, there's hybrid, and then there is the Civic Hybrid hatchback. So let's stay within the Honda family right now. So the hybrid hatch, MSRP $39,500, which is $1,900 more than what this is. So you want the extra cargo space, you like the hatchback, you want that rear wiper, then it's going to come into $1,900 as far as the premium you're going to pay for it. Fuel consumption comparison, this is 4.9, the hatchback is 5. On the hybrid sedan side, there's two. So there's the aforementioned Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Top trim XSE all-wheel drive is $37,215, so $385 less than this, and you got the all-wheel drive, and the fuel consumption rating is 4.7, which is lower than the 4.9 here. Also, don't forget about the Hyundai Elantra Hybrid, $31,499, front-wheel drive only, same fuel consumption as the Corolla at 4.7, but that is a solid $5,000 plus less than what we have here. So Toyota's got the reliability and Hyundai's got the cool designs and a lower price point. So take from that what you will. Let's go through the competition and we'll burn through them real quick. And these are the top trim numbers. $34,050 for the Mazda 3. That is without the turbo engine. Throw that turbo engine and I think it's almost $40K. Kia's K4, $34,795. The new 2026 Nissan Sentra, $31,998, and the Volkswagen Jetta, $32,595. So that's where we are for pricing. Lots of options if you do want something in the compact sedan world. If you need it to be hybrid or want it to be a hybrid, there's three choices between this, the Corolla, and the Elantra. So lots of choice out there. I think Honda's done a really good job, and if you don't mind paying a little bit more because you like the Honda brand and you just like the way the car feels and drives, and again that mix between old school, new school for design, physical buttons and decently sized screens, then take the Civic Hybrid sedan out for a test drive. That's going to wrap it up. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to hear from you. I invite you to join the social media platforms. We're on all of the major ones. Without you, there is no modern motoring, so I thank you, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.